So welcome everybody, my name is Carsten Wietland from Germany, and tonight I'm so honored and have the great pleasure to celebrate with you the anniversary of Lucas Paints. 160 years, congratulations. Today everything will be about loose flower painting and these wonderful big tubes from Lucas Watercolor 1862. They really helped me to get this done. So I warmed up a little bit. I hope you can see. This is what I do to prepare for now. But now I just put it away. So this is pretty cheap paper, no famous brand or something. It's just for sketching, but for these warm-ups it's okay, and I'm not painting for the museum anyway, so it's good to practice on cheap paper, and then you lose fear, I guess, to be at least at loose on the better quality paper. So first of all, I try to put in a strong color statement, and I use big brushes to do this, and loads of color. This is a wonderful color called Lucas Red. So I'm not interested in painting realistic flowers. These paintings are just inspired by flowers, and it's more about painting loose and just trying to see what happens on the paper and be inspired by this. This is cobalt orange, which is a pretty nice bright color. And so I want the colors and paints melt on the paper. I hope you can see it a little bit. I started this camera up here, and I will post the complete from the top demo later on my YouTube channel. Before I forget, if you'd like to know more about me, just type in Wieland Watercolor at Google or YouTube, or Wieland Aquarelle the same way. You will find almost everything about me, and find my art and videos and tutorials. Okay, so I probably should not talk too much right now, because everything here is about concentrating on the painting. And so I am a man, and though it's a little bit difficult with the multitasking, usually I would play my music with it, but for this live demo I thought it would be better. So this is a beautiful color too from Lucas. It's this cobalt turquoise. I love this color. So, and I'm using a pretty cheap Chinese brush. This is I think it was €1. Sometimes it loses a hair, but I never found another brush allowing me so much expression. And I hold it at the end of the grip, so it has more play. Because a good loose watercolor for me is just a mixture from a little bit of control and also let something happen on the paper by random. So if you're more interested in accurate watercolor, I can understand it and it's okay. But I found that this kind of painting is just what I was looking for. And these expressive flowers, I discovered them last year during it was more or less a deep depression, and I didn't really feel for painting. But of course I wanted to come back to it, and so I decided I would have to try something completely different, because before that I never thought I would paint flowers. I always thought that most flower watercolors are something for older ladies at the coffee table. Of course there are a few exceptions in art, like the wonderful German artist Elke Mendler with her flowers. They are so unique. And world famous. But for me this is just more exploring my brushes, because I always try to let one statement follow the other, and I always try to get inspiration from what happens on the paper. So I also use my fingernails from time to time just to scratch in some marks. And you might see that I'm moving pretty much. This is important for my painting style because it comes from the whole body. I try to paint sitting in front of it, but it's so limiting. And this way I have the painting in view, the whole thing, and it's much easier to make big movements. So this is some cadmium yellow. You have to be pretty careful with it. It's a nice color, but when you use it too early it might be a little bit poisoning the rest of the paints, because it makes everything greenish then. But as a finish or a mix, it's a wonderful paint too. So I think there should be just a sunflower for the Ukraine too. When I was in Fabriano the last days, so this festival Fabriano in Aquarello took place in Bologna this year because of several reasons. So it was a wonderful time, but of course I was looking forward to meet some friends from the Ukraine too, and I feel so sorry for all that what's going on, and they should have our deepest solidarity, I think. I also believe that art should always be bringing the message of freedom and peace to the world. And this is why this festival, Fabriano and Watercolor is such a great thing. So this is some cyan glue, and I mix it with a little bit of purple. So I hope you can see that I try to let the paints melt on the paper. So I'm just suggesting a little bit of shadow here. Some more cyan blue. Maybe we put another flower here. And you see, I use the paint pretty thick. This really the great thing about these huge tubes from Lucas. So I've had a wonderful collaboration with Lucas during the last years. I decided to paint with Lucas colors because I remember these paints from my time when I studied graphic design here in Essen, and back then Lucas has been a pretty local brand because the company was in Düsseldorf, which isn't too far from here. Maybe I have to concentrate on the painting just a little bit more, sorry. Some ultramarine would be nice too. And I always try to use my brushes in a different way, so you can suggest some leaves here just with a thin side. Can also, oh, where's my, I'm just missing one brush. It's alive. Then I take this one. You can also paint with the back of the brush, making pretty expressive things. When I have been in Bologna for the Fabriano Festival, I had the chance to watch the great master Gorlini, and I saw that he's doing the same thing. Oh, this was a great demo. By the way, I did see so many great watercolor demos, and when you meet watercolor painters from all over the world, this is so inspiring. Because we are all so different, but anyway, we seem to speak the same language. So you see, this is going pretty quick to fill the paper, and really for me it's the absolutely best training to get loose with the painting. Now let's try something different here. This is some gouache white, opaque white, and some paint dirts because my palettes are never clean, because I also use the paint remains. So mainly this is for my demo in Fabriano. What's left on the palette. And I like to use strong colors, but they shouldn't be too clean. I find it more interesting when there are coming up color combinations just on the paper I didn't think of before, so like I said, this will be on my YouTube channel too. I hope tomorrow, if not during the next days. Because I think it might be watched a little bit better than in this live video when you see it from the top and from my direction. But so I also use, sometimes I use some more dry brush strokes, and I always try not to paint like I would be painting some furniture or something like that. So this way you can do it, of course, and I see it pretty often in my workshops, but I think it's much more fun with less but direct single brush strokes. So I think I would like some Prussian green for some darker parts. And you see that the brush is never clean when I use a new color. There's always a little bit of the last paint. Left. Now I added some Payne's Gray to get a few really dark accents. And these splats and splashes, I think, help me to simulate more detail in my paintings. So they can suggest so many things like rain, or here just some leaves or whatever. So now I would work on the sunflower just a little bit more. Even here it shouldn't be too detailed, but I don't know if you can hear it, but this evening we have a pretty nice atmosphere here. birds are singing, sun is shining. Almost like in Fabriano. But the humidity is much higher here. So after I finish this short demo, I will post another short tutorial video. It's about these loose watercolor flower paintings too. Yeah, I should bring in some Lucas right here. Okay. This is almost the same brush, but much smaller with a smaller tip. And this way I can bring in a few more graphical details. So for me, these loose watercolor flowers were the best thing that could happen, because they changed my way of painting forever. Before that, I was still afraid to mess up, but since I tried this, which didn't work in the first try, but just after a few quick paintings, it really has changed. And now it became such a wonderful process just to paint. And even if the result should not be that great, at least I had a great time. Because I'm always curious how this will look when it's finished, when it has dried. I will post a picture of this too. It just dried, so this will be probably tomorrow at noon. I should bring in some thing down here. So sometimes I use the paints almost opaque, but then I can also get some off again, and this creates pretty nice textures. And there should be something up here. almost finished. Maybe I have to add a few details when it dried, so I will tell you tomorrow. Yeah, it's not. I like it to use my fingers too, of course. I'm painting. I try to paint with everything I got. Maybe not with everything, okay? Maybe just some. So now this is pure paint gray. Add the last darks and some Prussian green. So if you have any question about my watercolor paintings or tutorials, workshops, books, please just write me a personal message on Facebook or write an email to karstenwieland65@gmail.com. And leave a like if you enjoyed. So by the way, if you are interested in loose watercolor florals, I recommend this book. I wrote it last year and it's all about loose floral watercolors, especially sunflowers. It's available as ebook as my other books too, and this is my best-selling book. It's Watercolors in Minutes, My Secrets for Quick, Vibrant Watercolors. I hope you enjoy. Again, happy anniversary, Lucas Paints. Thank you for having me here, and happy painting, everybody. Bye-bye. job. So now after this is almost dry, I think I add a few little things. So I would like to strengthen this nice Lucas red a little bit, and so I just use it just with a little bit of water. And I thought maybe it should be a little bit of it down here. So this is Cadmium Yellow, and I use it with a little bit of opaque white to get a few bright accents here. And two, and we can do the same with the Lucas red. So this is a pointer brush I was looking for before. This is from Watercolor. It's really nice to paint. In this expressive way, because it takes up a lot of paint in here, but then it has a pretty fine tip up here, and you can do really huge variation of brush strokes with it. You see, again, I hold it at the end of the handle to give it more freedom. I thought of darkening this part here. What I'm going to try now is some Dioxan Violet, which is a nice dark violet, but I will mix it with a little bit of alizarin crimson. I put this here in the warmer palette and get something of it mixed here with the violet tone. So you see, this is, I try to paint around the flower here. So I'm not too careful with it, but I try to still leave some of the white here. But I think this might make a nice contrast, but we should have something brighter here now. I think this will be nice. Use a little bit more. Just give it a moment. But maybe some of this looks red too. So now I use a little bit of paints. I think this is indigo. I don't remember what I put in the palette for my demo in Fabriano of Bologna. Yeah, this looks like it is indigo. And I mix this with the violet from before. Yeah, now it really gets some drama, and this is exactly what I like. So you can see I don't even glue my paper or something. After drying, and when it's completely finished, I put these sketches under a heavy wooden plate and let them be pressed down there for a week or so, and then it's completely plain again. And then I can frame them if I like so. But so only in exceptions I hang up one of my own pictures. Still have the feeling I need something more up here, maybe. Maybe some more expressionism. This might be it. I'm not sure about this new signature. So when you see me painting this way, you probably can imagine how my studio looks like. I hope that I never have to stop painting this way, because then it would be necessary to clean this, all the walls and the ceiling and the floor completely from paint splashes. So if you'd like to try this, be careful. You should at least have an area where it doesn't matter too much if there go paint splashes here and there. So sometimes I leave the paintings this way for weeks and then I come back to them and put a layer of thin watercolor paints over it. You have to be pretty careful with it, and sometimes it doesn't work, so be careful with it, but sometimes you can achieve really good effects with it. But for today this should be enough, and it was just a demonstration to show you my warm-ups. Happy painting, everybody!